Annie Wang was just 19 years old when she realised her employer wasn't paying her superannuation. After 3 years, she took legal action to recover $8,000.
It's so costly, especially for a student. You have uni stress, school stress, normal everyday stress, and on top of that, you have to worry about work.
Ms Wang is one of nearly 3 million workers missing out on superannuation each year. In total, they're being underpaid $5 billion annually, with each worker losing an average of $1,700. It typically happens in industries employing lower skilled workers, and it's usually smaller businesses that are responsible.
It affects about 1 in 4 Australian workers. And, this is their money. It belongs to them. It doesn't belong to employers.
Greg Hislop was working as a head chef at a pub when he discovered his employer had not paid his super. A life-threatening infection meant he had to have his leg amputated from the knee down.
I lost my wage, I lost my job. It also took away, mainly the future that we had planned. We were looking at buying a house, we had a deposit, but yet we've had to go through half of that just to survive.
Apart from not being paid an estimated $20,000 in super, he lost out on almost $60,000 of insurance. The disability cover lapsed because his employer was not making super contributions.
I would have been able to cover myself and get back on my feet, but unfortunately that's been taken away from us for God knows what reason.
In cases like Greg's, the boss of Industry Super Australia says penalties are available, but the ATO needs to flex its muscle.
We've been worried that the penalties are woefully inadequate. We've also been worried that there's been very little deterrent activity.
Even when workers go to court and win, it can take years before they're paid back their super. Margaret Joyce is waiting for almost $6,000 and is worried she'll have to rely on the age pension.
I definitely won't have enough to retire on.
Superannuation Minister Jane Hume says the tax office knows what superannuation is owed because of the introduction of real-time payroll information.
The government has a zero tolerance to employers that don't pay the appropriate amount of superannuation to their employees.
But Shadow Superannuation Minister Stephen Jones says the government needs to do more.
Change the law to ensure that recovery of superannuation is treated the same as recovery of any other wages.
When a company goes bust, it can be hard for workers to recover their superannuation. Over the past year, the ATO has fined employers more than $240 million. Company directors can also face penalties, including prison time. But the ATO says no one has gone to jail over the past 12 months.
If a company has already been deregistered, then it no longer legally exists, and so the ATO is constrained from taking any further action in those scenarios.
The tax office hasn't been able to recover Shinda Kwa's $16,000 in unpaid superannuation because her employer is no longer registered. She was working on a temporary 457 visa as a chef.
Really, I think they're taking advantage from the migrant people. Really, they push them hardly. Unfortunately, this means there is no business or company for us to take action against.
She also missed out on wages, but has been able to get that money back by complaining to the Fair Work Ombudsman.
I was literally crying that time because of my situation, because we don't have enough money in our accounts. What color is this one?
Not enough money for today, and definitely not enough for retirement.